Did you ever feel like when people say life is short, that's kind of I think life is short compared to like cosmic things, but I don't feel it's like that short. How do you feel about that? Do you think it's kind of like right in the middle?
It's short and long at the same time. I think it's a perfect, like, I think for the human brain, it's perfect.
I think so too.
Yeah. Like 80, 90 years old is just like, that's
like, all right, I had enough of this fucking shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
So I watched a Star Trek.
Oh,
There was an anti-aging one where this
Which
guy,
one was this?
It was like some admiral, and he was like, it was a hostage situation, and he fucked up, like, he caused a civil war. It was kind of like in the first Iraqi war,
Yeah.
where the U.S. gave them, weapons, and they used it against, created a civil war and everything.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, and so he was like, he took anti-aging, like, medicine.
Who did this?
The admiral.
Okay.
And so he's like 90 years old in the beginning of the episode, and then he goes like towards like 20 years old. And then, yeah, and then this is, his body can't take the drug, and he dies in the end. While his like the leader of the world that he crippled, enjoys his death, right?
Yeah.
It's kind of like that, but like the anti-aging part. Would you take that anti-aging drug if you're like 90 years old, or is the lifespan of life, right, just a perfect amount? It's a perfect. It's like the chocolate at the end of death is the sweet chocolate at the end of a nice meal.
The one on top of your pillow.
Yeah.
Death is like a sweet chocolate at the end of a good. I don't know if I've ever heard anyone say that before. I don't know if yeah. So
like a nice little chocolate truffle at the very end, just to kind of, and then death.
I think if a couple things would have to be there. One of them is, do other people get to use it that I care about, right?
Well, in the case of the this episode, he didn't give it to his wife
on purpose.
Well, he wanted to use it just so he's like sharp to handle the situation, and he didn't give it to his wife. And the wife was just like, "We're supposed to retire now. Like this, you lived your life. Like this is supposed to be it." Like it's like the stance of like the old wise person. Like you lived your life, just fucking die now.
Yeah,
right. Like
I think that's a big part of it, right? Like I feel like I would have to, in order to do it, I would have to be, certain people would have to be on board. I think. I think going by myself is incredibly selfish. Even though part of me would do it, like I'd have to fight that part. I think.
Yeah, you would have to fight that part, I guess. Because I
as a person, I
think everyone would want to take it if like they're at that advanced age, just to relive their youth again, right? To some extent.
Well, do you get to live longer with this, or is it just
you go back to?
So you literally
20 years old.
You could potentially live another lifetime.
Yes.
Wow, that is a big
Right.
That I don't see why anyone wouldn't, unless
but you're an evolutionary, biology guy.
Yeah. Oh, I get to spread more of my seed.
No.
Oh,
you're supposed to die, so your seed is you have old seed. You have the old generation seed.
Not if I'm revitalized.
No, but your DNA should have already been gone. It should be out of the circulation because it should allow a new circulation of DNA.
I don't agree with that. I don't think that's even an evolutionary concept. I think that
death is not an evolutionary concept.
It is an evolutionary concept. My point is that the fit individuals, it would behoove evolution for fit individuals to keep reproducing. Right.
But
not evolution, but the evolution of a species.
Yeah, but you're just taking a drug. That's not you.
DNA doesn't know that.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm just saying from a pure evolutionary standpoint, your death is to usher in the new cycle of DNA. So it can have the space to grow.
I think that's a human concept. I
think so?
that, because like death is a physical limitation, and it's convenient as well in evolution because you have individuals that take up space in the niche.
Yeah.
Right? Because overpopulation is a real thing. Human populations don't have to worry about that. Now, if you're talking about dogs or like wolves and, flowers and all the, there's only X amount of resources.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if everyone in the whole world was privy to this type of medication, then we'd run into the same problem. We'd have overpopulation. We'd have all these things. Right? Death is convenient for biological systems. I don't think it's required.
It's also convenient for economic reasons, right? Because if everyone did it, then you have way too many people.
Yeah. Also, if death didn't occur, I feel like the drive to procreate wouldn't be as high, right? So, like,
right,
natural systems procreate because the system knows, not the individual, but the system understands that you have X amount of, as each day, your probability of doom increases, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it would behoove an animal to have as many offspring as it can early on before it does die. And then you have mutations that accumulate. You have all the other theories of why aging is bad, right?
Yeah. Right, like
so I agree with you. I know where you're going with this, but I just feel like if this medication is as wonderful as it sounds like it is, I don't think it would matter evolutionarily, because you'd just be as fit as you were when you were 20.
I see.
Right?
I mean, like I guess by like Star Trek point, it doesn't matter if you're like spreading those genes. Anyway,
you have the entire galaxy,
right? And like there's no more headaches in that.
Yeah,
there's no physical ailments that can't be treated. Yeah, the blind can see. Right.
It's heavily dependent on how advanced the civilization is or the species.
Right. Yeah, I think it's one of those things where like there's a whole anti-aging movement, right?
There is?
Yeah, it's a huge, like my dad's a part of it.
Oh, you mean like
fasting and like taking care of your body, what drugs to take, metformin, like these things where like
metformin even if you're not diabetic?
Yeah, it helps with anti-aging.
I didn't know that.
Actually, there's been studies, I think, recently where it might not be true. Mm-hmm. But of course, they could take this with a grain of salt. But they're applying different drugs to help. Like it's like the whole thing about telomere lengthening and
that's the main reasoning of aging.
It's just like the ticker, right? The ticker is if you can lengthen it, then you'll reverse aging. There's a bunch of like stuff on it. There's a guy, I think Bryce Johnson. He's like a millionaire that like spends like $2 million a year like taking care of his body, and like he puts all his data online like so you can like harvest it or whatever you want. And, like, he's trying to like not die, but it's like to what is that wise though, right? Isn't like human wisdom like a virtue of humanity? I think is to accept death. I think it's part of humanity.
Well, I think that the shortness of life drives us to do things. Yes. I think that's definitely there.
Right.
But do you really think that's what it is? Do you really think, like, would you, if you found out you were going to be immortal tomorrow, would you stop working? Would you stop providing for your family? Just you, not everyone else around you. Let's say that just you, for some reason, God came down and said, Nick, for some reason, I'm not going to let you die.
Doesn't mean you have infinite money.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Like Man from Earth. You ever seen Man from Earth?
I don't know if I have.
Do you want me to spoil it?
Yeah, just spoil it.
Okay.
Well, I mean, spoilers ahead for everyone.
Yeah, spoilers ahead. So, there's a movie called Man from Earth. I think it's in the late 80s, early 90s, probably early 90s. It's about a man. The whole movie is shot in one room, and it's about a man who's convincing his friends, his colleagues, he's retiring at a very young age, and they're like, "Why are you retiring so young?" He's an academic. He's like, "I got to tell you guys something. You're not going to believe me, but I'm immortal." And they're like, "Get the fuck out of here," right? So that's the whole point. The whole movie is him convincing them that he's actually immortal. And he tells about all the stories, all the lives he's led. He was actually Jesus Christ. He claims that he was Jesus Christ. Okay, so you've seen it?
No, I've heard of it.
Okay.
Yeah. I've heard of the punchline.
Yeah. My point is that guy had to work every day of his life, right? Like he didn't like get anything outside of the biological immortality. That was it. He just knew he wouldn't die.
Yeah, you're like, what if you're a dumb person and you're immortal?
It's kind of a waste of immortality, isn't it?
Well, I mean, that's what, if you're giving out immortality, we're talking about like everyone has if
you're saying this drug exists that makes you immortal,
right.
Everyone gets it, yeah,
everyone gets it, right? It can't just be like a handful of people, right? And so, like, that's the bell curve. That's entire bell curve. That's static, right?
Yeah.
I mean, like, what's the point of that?
True.
We should just all, we need to die.
No, I think
because like the bell curve needs to die.